You lived with a conviction that shaped both our family. No problem was too small for you to personally tackle, and no solution was ever out of your expertise. You refused the idea that a woman existed only to be dependent on their husbands. You carved out your own mission, and as president of the 31st December Women's Movement, you ignited a force that transformed the landscape of women's rights and education that still resonates today. The movement established about 1,000 early childhood development centers, advanced adult literacy, set up income-generating activities, and led legal reforms granting inheritance rights to women and children. Mom, you championed the United Nations Convention on the Rights of the Child and fought relentlessly for the dignity and self-reliance of women. You were never just advocating, you were doing. You will be remembered as a woman of action. Your legacy resonates far beyond our family. The movement you led and your unwavering pursuit of equality will continue to shape Ghana for generations. As we grow older, we came to understand your uncompromising, kind, and relentless nature more deeply.
A former First Lady, she was a pioneering leader, an unwavering champion of women's empowerment, a trailblazer in our political landscape, and a deeply committed patriot. Her life story is one defined by boldness to speak, to challenge, to lead, and to stand resolutely for what she believed was right for Ghana. As First Lady, she redefined the role and transformed it into a platform for national development. Through her inspirational leadership of the 31st December Women's Movement, she expanded opportunities for women and girls, especially in rural communities where support was most needed. She championed literacy programs, reproductive and maternal health, early childhood education, and economic empowerment initiatives long before these became central themes in our national development agenda. Her work touched thousands of families and laid the groundwork for many of the gender-sensitive policies and social interventions that Ghana benefits from today. In public life, Nana Konadu was assertive, principled, and unyielding in her convictions. She was never afraid to push boundaries or to stand alone when her conscience called her to do so.
Nana Konadu Rawlings. She was not only a First Lady, she was boldness personified. She was the very heartbeat of a movement that reshaped Ghana's political, social, and democratic landscape. From her early years at the Ghana Tourist Board and the Union Trading Company, she engaged directly with the struggles of ordinary women. These encounters ignited in her a fierce determination to fight for dignity, justice, and opportunity, especially for women whose voices had been ignored. In the restless Ghana of the 1980s, She did not stand at the margins. She stepped into the arena not merely to support a revolution, but to define one. A founding of the 31st December Women's Movement was one of the boldest acts of leadership in our national history. What began as an idea became a nationwide transformational engine that empowered women, millions of women, nurtured community leadership, and restored confidence in those who had once been invisible. Under her commanding and charismatic leadership, over 870 early childhood centers rose across the country. Today, thousands of adults in their 30s and 40s carry the gift of early education.
So my positions be a started free baby. There's no near 10 and see and a whole farmer or two who see or man and a man I yield the resource because now there's a man about out. Into no didn't who see war and then who example no was a champion the cause of women no and then I mean who a national positions baby you know and I think you can't modern boy that's what I read 31st December women daycare centers or to say in the school now or the raise and Konadu no one says be more France on a Dutch and I can't say a kind and my baby in a bit in their kind so my Konadu Rawlings a born home there and I Konadu Rawlings who do more than be pa into Santa Maya Kano when Munyama or the Asha so no Santinia or by a first lady or your fourth republic here in Munyam Shapa and
campaign. Now, what's Ghana? You can't interstate succession law. You can't send your girl child to school. You can't empowerment. You can't 31st. And then you bakery schools near there. Which means why you be part? Just say, Banner say, said the man Kenyan homo, in politics. Or no now, or creating that consciousness. No, man, do one nyasa kukudo no sir. Almost bit me be. And only one of the lasting legacies are and no a chain sika, a chain classroom, a chain. So consciousness now creates no. One of the biggest legacies are which I into was say a chimana ya twaso na ya shese ni oshasi ya ni bitimi akon kind na ni mo ye nyina no ya betwaso na Ghana fan into my pa efra.
Me debe kai me maame ne say oye woman of substance enye onu anka ye mu bebra anka ye ni ha enye wonu a because oye oba nam say o si gina ho ntia na hye yesu ye nkran ene o tete yen ene ya bedum pempen so ya bedun.
What men will do, women too can do it. That is what she taught us to do, hard work and everything. So we have to remember her. Look at our uniform. This is our uniform.
Ye twi gare na ye dade na ye wo mo twi se ya na etwa woni moja tatatata enso maami to me ba se de bi ensa ne ye biom machine ye am develop machine ya de yam enti se na ye yam machine fufu e ma na fufu kura ye yam na ye maami woyi.
She called us that we should do, we go and then do it. And they train us as if we are military people, military personnel. Because you can be doing anything, as my sister said, you can be doing anything, they will call you. If you have a call, you have to wake up and go.
Nema bebre akoso wabuebie school ya buebie schools afa so owoti mama single parents so every district every constituency okwo ho nyina no ko buebie factory small wo gari factory condo factory oil factory palm oil factory and so forth.
Ma Konadu If you are in a house, you have to do your work quick. She can call you just now that come to the house for a meeting. You have to leave everything and go to her. She is disciplinarian. So because of that, if you see 31st woman, they don't make this thing at all.
Celebration. 31st year, Quibia, and Muraman, a beer many, Nana Konadu Mano, no chair, send yes, ye obao no Kubetanasi, I was on a papa ufie, Kikiro Seshaoma, Naya Janima Manu Kun, and Sana Wako Jum. Tina or Chaya, mammy, educate me.
We will take now the tribute by the National Democratic Congress. National Democratic Congress. Thank you.
Tribute to a trailblazer, Konadu Rawlings. With hearts full of reverence, the National Democratic Congress today bows to honor a woman whose life changed the course of our nation, Konadu Rawlings. She was not only a first lady, she was boldness personified. She was the very heartbeat of a movement that reshaped Ghana's political, social, and democratic landscape. From her early years at the Ghana Tourist Board and the Union Trading Company, she engaged directly with the struggles of ordinary women. These encounters ignited in her a fierce determination to fight for dignity, justice, and opportunity, especially for women whose voices had been ignored. In the restless Ghana of the 1980s, she did not stand at the margins. She stepped into the arena not merely to support a revolution, but to define one. A founding of the 31st December Women's Movement was one of the boldest acts of leadership in our national history. What began as an idea became a nationwide transformational engine that empowered women, millions of women, nurtured community leadership, and restored confidence in those who had once been invisible. Under her commanding and charismatic leadership, over 870 early childhood centers rose across the country. Today, thousands of adults in their 30s and 40s carry the gift of early education because Konadu and her movement walked into their communities and planted opportunities where none existed. Her work was practical, personal, and profoundly transformational. Her advocacy went far beyond education. Through literacy drives, micro-enterprise programs, and legal reform, she helped thousands of women become informed earners and confident citizens. Her boldness influenced the passage of the Interstate Succession Law, PNDC 111, a watershed legislation many rightly call the Konadu Law. She stood between widows and injustice, fighting to ensure that no woman was left homeless or powerless in her darkest hour. Her fearlessness also took Ghana to the world stage. At the 1995 Beijing conference, she spoke for the African girl child with a clarity and authority that commanded global respect. Above all, Konadu Rawlings was a foundational pillar of both the PNDC and the NDC. She did not operate from the background. She was at the very center, organizing women, building structures, shaping strategy, strengthening grassroots, and helping give birth to a party that was not just political, but deeply connected to the people. The history of the NDC cannot be told without her name spoken boldly and with honor. She was not an observer of the struggle. She was an architect of its success. She was not a mere participant. She was a pillar, strong and yielding, indispensable. Her election in 2009 as first vice chairperson of the NDC was a recognition of her stature as a founding mother of the party, one whose influence could never be wished away, revised, or forgotten. When the time came, she once again defied all limits and became the first woman to contest the presidency of the Republic of Ghana. A testament to her courage and her lifelong message that leadership is not a man's birthright. Today, as we mourn, we also celebrate a woman who lived with intention, who spoke her truth without fear, and who served this country with unshakable conviction. A legacy lives in every confident girl who walks into a classroom, every widow protected by law and dignity, every woman who now knows she can lead, every community where early education took root, and every structure of our political tradition that she helped build with her own hands. On behalf of the National Democratic Congress, we say, thank you, Nana Konadu. Thank you for your service. Thank you for your courage. Thank you for the lives you uplifted. Thank you for the foundations you laid. Foundations that can never be erased from the history of the PNDC or the NDC. Your race is run, but your legacy endures. Your fire continues to burn in a new generation, unafraid to be bold. May your soul rest in perfect peace. Rest well, mother of the movement. Ghana is better because you lived. Thank you.
Thank you. We now take the tribute by the National Democratic Party. National Democratic Party. Thank you.